Hello, Chloe here from Border River Flowers. It is the first day of 2023, but this is my December flower farm tour. I'm way behind. I spent the last week trying to get my roadside stand finished. Still haven't got it finished, but it's a lot closer to being finished now. So I've sort of ignored, besides staying on top of watering, I sort of ignored the garden a bit for the last week, and we've had a couple lots of rain, so the weeds have gone crazy. So I think I'll be spending this week weeding mostly. On dark yesterday we had a massive downpour, so everything is very wet at the moment, but I'm going to just do a quick garden tour. This is going to be December's garden tour. I'm guessing it's still close enough to December to class it as that. Anyway, it's been so windy as well the last week. I've sort of been trying to find a time that would be all right for doing a video, but it just was so windy all the time that it just made it really hard. I had a microphone, Bluetooth microphone, ordered, and it's sitting at the post office at our local town, and it didn't get delivered in the mail, so that's a bit disappointing. I've been waiting on that so that I could, even if it was windy, I would have been able to still do it. But anyway, Happy New Year everyone, and here is my December garden tour. Okay, so here are my first succession of gladdies. There's sort of like, there's a few up here that are still yet to open. Need to pick you. I picked an order, some flowers this morning. I'll show you those for an order. Some zinnias and some status here. Queen Anne's lace. Sunflowers. My teddy bear sunflowers, only a few of those germinated, but they're just opening now, and some of the glads here. So that's for an order today. But yeah, these are sort of coming to an end. But these have performed so well for me. I wish I had put a lot more in. They're just, some of the colours are just incredible. The downpours they've been standing up perfectly fine, but the downpour last night has made the tops of them very heavy and knocked them over. But yeah, still beautiful nonetheless. This was where the lilies were, is now a patch of weeds. This row here is where the dahlias got waterlogged, and didn't come up, so that's a bed of weeds. I'm going to see if I can rework that one hopefully this week and see what we come up with. I've been getting, so this, in amongst all these weeds, I have a few more dahlias. I think these are the ones that Emily sent me. So they're just sort of starting to take off now, but I've been, it's another one of the new ones. I've been learning a lot more about the soil here, and we're low on magnesium and carbon, and this used to be cultivation country here, and I think the herbicides that would have been used on it, this was from the previous owners, has just ripped so much good out of the country that I'm just going to have to really work the dirt between that and the cold. We're still getting cold nights. There's a couple here, are just a couple that a friend gave me. That's one of the original ones. More that my friend gave me, and one of the original ones. Yeah, just gonna have to really work some goodness back into the soil. Gonna try putting charcoal on it. I've put dolomite on it for the magnesium. This is the first lot of calendula, which is very sad. These are the ornamental kale, which, considering I have what that one's got in there, something living in there, considering I've completely ignored them, they're actually growing okay. This is the first succession of sunflowers. I did the last pick on them this morning. I don't think there's nothing left to open up in those ones. This is just a little patch of the cactus mixinias here at the end. I've had so much trouble with things flowering way too short. The cold nights are just playing havoc with that. So I gave these a really harsh chop again, this first lot here, which are more of the cactus mix, just to see if I could get them to send up longer stems, and I don't know if it's going to work. Hasn't worked yet. I left these ones here, and I got a few from them this morning, but like, if you want to get anything with real length, you pretty much just got to cut the whole plant away. Like that one there's a bit better, it's got longer stems, but like these ones, just unless you're doing tiny little posies, they're just not long enough. Even these ones here, like unless you cut the plant right back. But at least I'm getting a few usable ones in them, and they are the a couple of the different Queen series ones there. This is a Rebecca. They're starting to flower, but again, the flowers are short. Status. I'm going to swap over the other side of this rose out of my shadow. Status, finally getting, like, summer still, especially the pastel mix down this end down here is still got short stems, but these ones here, this bush here is doing incredibly well compared to the rest of them, although these haven't really, besides the spot there that sits in the water when we get lots of rain. Yeah, these are like well and truly long enough to use, and that bush has just got so many flowers on it. Even these ones here are quite usable, and then we start getting a bit shorter ones down this end in the pastels here, longer ones here that are usable. Cosmos, these are the double click ones, and they're just not long enough at all. I'm thinking about just cutting them right back to pretty much nothing and seeing what they do. Otherwise, they're just no use to me at all. Like, they should be well and truly up here by now. This is the next succession of sunflowers that got washed away by the rain, which is a real shame because it was timed perfectly. These ones here just finishing, and I picked the first ones from these this morning, so it would have been perfect, but that's not to be. Mostly weeds in here, a couple of delphinium that are struggling their way through life. Achillea, just starting to flower, but again the stems are currently too short. And this is all Achillea, 3 different ones. This here is a carnation. It's got flower heads, but again they're quite short. Even if pretty, they are short, which doesn't make them that much use to me. Queen Anne's lace, we had so much wind, and with the flowers on it, I need to come and do a chop of any of the flowers that are no good, which quite a few of these are past picking. The wind has just really pushed them over. I probably should have netted these, knocked them over sideways, and just really loosened their roots in the ground, and they're just not happy about that. Snapdragons flowered way too short, and even if they hadn't flowered way too short, they got absolutely hit by caterpillars, like there isn't one single flower that isn't damaged by caterpillars. Look at them. So I sprayed these with Dipels and still covered in some of them okay stem length. I could have used them, but yep, they just, no way I couldn't use them with all those holes in them. This is another lot of zinnias which seem to be fairly short for the most part as well. So I planted a couple in a spot over there where the teddy bear sunflowers didn't come up, and they seem to be the best ones so far. They got decent stem length, but I didn't pinch them either. So that's probably the difference there. Mrs. Burns lemon basil. Again, it's currently too short to use. It's flowering and I need to cut that back. I'll have that much basil coming up here in a while. This is the opal. I was wishing that some of it would be long enough to pick today. The bunch I've got to do is meant to be bright, so that would have added another colour. And then these are my dahlias from Florelli. Some of them, they've sort of just started taking off a bit in the last week, I would say. This one here's forming flower heads. This one's done the best out of them all right from the start, but I think from what I've learnt, like a lot of this on this new growth, what it looks like is herbicide damage, which it's picking up from the soil. If that is the case here, I see so many other people have already got dahlias that are big and got flowers, and that one's been munched by a caterpillar, I'd say. And I'm still sitting here waiting patiently. I won't go down that row. It's just more lemon basil at that end and a couple of the sunflowers that survived the downpour. Now these are the really bad rows. So these are the start of the chrysanthemums. 7 rows of chrysanthemums. I started at the other end with mulching and it looks so much better. This is so many weeds in these beds here. This one here I've weeded. I started a while ago, so they've even started growing back down that end. But this side, I'm going to go up this side, then I'll lay the weed mat, lay the mulch down like I have on these ones. These ones, 2 beds, have always grown a lot better than those ones, but the weeds wouldn't be doing those ones any good favours either. This here is my cut flower mix. So I cut some zinnias out of this morning. And they have okay stem length, but again, these weren't pinched. There's just way too many there to bother doing that with. I'm not that concerned about them getting really bushy. I noticed that because of the humid weather we've been having, that some of these have got a bit of black spot on the bottom of the bottom leaves and whatnot, but I am going to spray them with milk diluted in water to kill that, hopefully. I've just got to get to doing it. So that's that whole row. We've got like a bit of some baby's breath starting to flower in it, the zinnias. What else did I see? I saw something else flowering there before. Yeah, I can't see it. I've got a pink. There's a pink baby's breath as well. And this here is the Cosmos. They are already taller than the others that have been planted for months. There's a fair few weeds in amongst here, but I never intended on being able to keep these weeded because, well, can't really. I mean, I'll keep them weeded. I started weeding along the edge here the other day. I'll weed along the edge where I can get at. But otherwise, it's a bit hard to get into the middle of there and weed them. For the most part, where they're nice and thick, it's drowned them out pretty well. This is the next lot of calendula, which I was skiting to my sisters about how well these were doing. They were growing so well, and I thought I'll actually probably get nice stem length on these ones. They've started flowering and it's way too short, but they were doing really well. And then pretty much overnight the caterpillars just hit them so hard that some of the plants were just not much left of them. They were killing the centers out of the plants and everything, but like that there was sort of like they were growing so nicely, and then it's just stopped them in their tracks. I have sprayed them, and I don't know what this plant here is. It's obviously it's flown in from the mix over there when I was throwing that mix out. Cornflower. I don't know if you know what it is. Let me know. I think it's a cornflower, but I haven't grown cornflower, so I don't know, but it is in that mix over there. So this bed's just grown weeds pretty much overnight. I've got a bit of everything in here. So I've got a few dianthus there, which look like they're flowering way too short. And a few stray cosmos, which flew in from over there when I was seeding that, I would say. So I planted chocolate Queen Anne's lace in here and had to go doing sheep work. It didn't get watered. I thought, oh, I've lost that. But it all started going. So I planted Clarkia in here. That's what this is here. And now all the Queen Anne's lace, chocolate Queen Anne's lace, has decided that it wasn't actually dead. But anyway, hopefully they don't get too crowded out. I can't help myself as I'm going along. No matter what I come down here to do, I do at least a bit of weeding. On the scale of what the weeds are, I don't think it makes any difference, but I like to think it does. This is the next succession of gladdies, which are also looking amazing like the first lot, and they continue to amaze me how well they are doing. So they like the soil and the weather. And this here is the next succession of sunflowers, which are growing really nicely. The lemon one, again, I love the lemon one, but it's always got way shorter stems. Oh, this row is a bit soft. Way shorter stems than the other colours. I've had some caterpillars munching on some leaves as well. There's a few asters in here, which I don't think are going to do very well. The problem is we've had cold nights and really high UV in the day, so it keeps the soil too cold from the nights being like they are, and then burns everything in the day. Anyway, I have here baby's breath, yeah, pink bouquet baby's breath here, and it was doing incredible. I thought, oh wow, that's just taken off. And then we got some rain, and I don't know if it doesn't like the wet, but they've just all died. I didn't say either, we've got our drippers set up for the most part. We need to tweak them, definitely, still, but at least they're on and it's so much easier to do the watering. This here's Echinacea, which is doing okay. I've lost a few, but they're alright. And this is the Celosia flamingo feather, and it was planted at the same time as the Echinacea there, and it haven't lost any, I don't think. It's taking off now. This next succession, this weed mat row walkway here is soft. When I first make the beds like these, when we get rain, these are still quite soft before they pack down. This is the next succession of sunflowers here. which we have a bit of a, this one leaks here. I've got to tighten it. This dripper line I'm not that happy with. I've got the brown stuff down the other end and it's much better. So I've had to dig a bit of a channel out there to let the water out. This here is my Lisianthus, full row there, full row here, and a partial row up there. I will go up this row, hopefully it's not too soft. The wind last night even blew some of the rocks off the mat where I didn't have enough on it. So this first one is Arena 3 Pink here. Actually no, I don't think that is correct. I've got all messed around because again I planted some and I planted a third of a tray. The 280 trays are 280 and I planted a third of a tray and then didn't realise that they would need watering a couple times a day. They really needed the water. So this one's Mariaki 2 Pink here for this first part. And then I've got Arena 3 Pink here. And then a little bit, there's a little section in here. That is that one as well. This one here is Arena 3 Purple. There and there. And down the other end is Mariaki 3 Yellow, I think. I think I have that right. And here are the dahlias that I did the unboxing video on. So nothing is up here yet except weeds, I believe. Can't see anything up. And then here I've planted, what did I plant here? Zinnias. Oh yeah, they just started coming up. Here. Yeah. So windy when I was planting these that so many flew across the paddock. Seeds as I was trying to. This one is Mazurka. Jazzy mixture. They might be all the same amount, but like I said, some of them flew across the paddock. So that's only a very small space. I don't know why these writing on these ones have decided to fade. This one is Solciando. I think that's how you say it. If not, I'm saying it wrong. And candy mixture. I think this one here is. And then this here is the next succession, not down there. I stuffed up really bad down here. So I had the hose up here and I was working up this bed and I went to do something and left the hose sitting there. And then thought it didn't look too wet, so I went over it with the rotary hoe. Bogged the rotary hoe down and made a big hole, and it just holds the water now. So I only planted down to here, so that's quite a few sunflowers up already. And I planted these, when did I plant these? On the 27th. So they've come up really quickly. So yeah, that is it. When I'm doing my working up my beds in the future, I'll be working in charcoal, dolomite, or one of those rock minerals to try and get what we need back in the soil. So we're nearly at the end of the paddock here. I said to my husband when we first started making this garden, I don't think we'll use all that in the first year, but we are getting there. So yeah, that is it for. So that is December's garden tour. Just don't tell anybody, it's actually January. That's how far behind I am, but I so desperately want to get the roadside stand out the front that I've been just working on it, really focusing on it the last week, hoping we can get it finished soon, and yeah, be able to turn some flowers over in it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so when we pop up new videos you get a notification. Give us a thumbs up, and if you want to comment with something, please do. And Happy New Year. I hope 2023 is a good one for you all. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.